David from Dash Off-Road, and we're going to have a battle between Ziggy and Weber Q. From the bottom, Weber. There's some things that you need to know about both of these barbecue systems, especially if you're a caravaner and you want to get them to fit in the caravan. I'm going to go through what works best with the Weber and what the pros are for it and the cons, and then I'll go through the Ziggy and tell you what are the good and bad points about this one too, because they're similar money. And then I'm going to tell you which one is going to stay in my caravan going forward. And I'll give you a bit of a tip, it's not the best one. Alright. You'll notice I'm conducting this test at home just because I don't want to take two barbecues away in the caravan to show you this, so sorry about that. We'll do it in the comfort of the alfresco here. Now, I'll run down through each barbecue. They're a similar price really, but there's some differences between the two. So first of all, I'm going to talk about size and cooking real estate. Weber is, well, the actual dome here and space that it takes up is about the same. Like if you look on top, how big this is compared to how big this is, there's not much in it. Because the Weber's got these things that come out the side, Ziggy does not. It's actually, you know, got the cooking all the way out to the edge here. The physical size is about the same. The height, really, if I can put them next to each other, there's not much in it. Maybe the Ziggy is slightly taller. Packing up size, that's about as good as it gets. It doesn't get any more compact than that. The Ziggy, however, you can flip this lid around and it halves the height of it. And this is now the magical height that can fit in that little locker, a tunnel boot at the front of my caravan. There's no way that's going to fit. Cooking real estate. Weber goes for somewhat of a rectangular design, whereas Ziggy is oval. You know, if you're cooking square things, you're not going to fit as much on the oval shaped one, but you'll fit more on there. If you're cooking things that are, you know, going to fit in all the gaps, smaller things, you could probably get more. I would say, and this is very subjective here, I would say the Ziggy has more cooking space. But the question is it usable because it's oval? You know, if you're cooking square steaks maybe, say you're cooking shazliks or kebabs, you know, you can only fit them from there to there if they're quite tall, or you have to go on a diagonal. Here, you would have no problem at all. Both have got temperature gauges. This one maxes out at 280 degrees Celsius, this one 300. I can tell you the Weber heats up a lot faster and holds the temperature better. This one takes a long time to heat up to temperature, like double the time I would say to heat up, and the chances of this one going out is much greater. At the back here, there's like this massive like gap. If you've got wind blowing in from that direction, it blows out all the time, or you get into a position where only half of the element here is lit up. That just doesn't happen with the Weber. Once it lights, it doesn't blow out. If it's really windy, maybe it won't be as hot, but I found with the Ziggy, definitely it does blow out, and it does get affected by wind a lot more. Little things like ignition. Weber's got electronic ignition. I really like that. Whereas Ziggy, piezo ignition. Nothing wrong with that. And the base model without the thermostat or the temperature gauge at the top of it in the Weber also has piezo. But the electric one's really cool. Say if you're cleaning the hot plate, I spray it with, you know, spray oil. You're not going to do that while it's all lit because you'll get a flamethrower. So I'll quickly turn it off, spray it, quickly turn it on, press the piezo ignition, and it's lit instantly. Not that this one's that much harder, but Weber wins that one. Slightly. Again, not a biggie, but worth mentioning. Weber, we can plumb into natural gas and it works. It doesn't get quite as hot as with bottle gas, but it works. Try and do that with Ziggy and it just doesn't work at all. It won't even light. So you have to have bottled gas for this one. Cleaning. So the drip tray for Ziggy is down here. You've got to spin this somehow, other way. It's easy with two hands. That's how air gets in from the bottom, and then that's where all your fat ends up down the bottom. I don't know if there's like a proprietary drip tray that goes in there, but it would have to be pretty special because that's a donut. So hard to clean out. Weber, on the other hand, really easy. Just chuck one of these cheap foil trays in there. All the stuff goes in there. Put it back. Job done. You never actually have to clean this part. You just put foil trays in there. Heaps easier. Hot plate design. Both have got various options for the hot plate, and you can see there's a cast part that goes around here to stop flare-ups, but I have experienced flare-ups with this one, and I must admit I'm getting hot spots. I think it must be the way the lid is designed or something like that, but everything is hotter across the top than it is across the bottom. Weber, no hot spots. The whole thing's even temperature, never had a flare up. This is actually starting to look like the better tool for the job. Accessories, both of these you can get heaps of stuff. The limits are how deep your pockets are really. Both brands have got bucket loads. Both systems are out, I don't know, $350, but then chances are you go in to buy one and without a doubt you're going to end up spending sort of $550 to get all the stuff that you want, maybe even a little bit more if you want the trolley and all that sort of stuff. This is pretty cool. So this is like a trivet kit, so you can have a wok burner, or you can say you want to have a bit of a barbecue on one side but heat some water up on the other side. You can do that with this. That's Ziggy, by the way. Weber doesn't have that facility. I love this. Check this out. Lighting that comes off the lid. This would be gold. How good is that? But there's no reason why you couldn't fit that. It just mounts to the handle. You could put that on here just as easy. Do yourself a favor, if you don't have one of these, 29 bucks, barbecues galore, get one of them. It'll fit the Webers as well, and they are gold. Get onto it. But I tell you, one of my favourite accessories is the humble shifter. It is the best thing for grabbing the grills out when they're hot. This one's a bit trickier, but it comes with a half plate too, so the half plate would be just as easy, no doubt. Now, the grills can rattle around in transit. Ziggy has that covered, so it's got these little locks on the side, and that's now locked. And the lid's locked too. I like that. You might be wondering though, which one of these two am I going to put in my Caravan? Well, the answer is very clear and obvious. It's the one that fits. Even though this one, the Ziggy, does not cook as well because of the hot spots, it's got some other little annoying things about it too, but it fits in the hole. And just for that reason alone, that's the one that's going to stay in the Caravan. And I guess the Weber Q, it'll probably stay out the back here until I finish my rest of my alfresco area, and I'm definitely going to buy a Weber Q, the big one, plumb it into mains gas, and that's going to be my home barbecue. Love the Weber Q, fantastic. Everything that I've cooked, chickens, pizzas, you name it, that's the one for me. So if it's a barbecue for your balcony, Weber Q. If you need the stupid thing to fit in that little hole in the front of your Caravan, it kind of has to be a Ziggy. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I do them all the time. Sometimes for driving, sometimes caravanning. If you really like it, press that subscribe button down here or here, wherever I put it. And I'll see you next time on YouTube. Yeah.